Hey there, YouTube. I just wanted to share with you what some of my all time favorite grunge albums are. And this is not going to be in any kind of particular order. I'm just going through my collection here and showing you what some of my favorite albums are from the grunge era. And the first one here is Nirvana Unplugged in New York. This was actually the very first Nirvana album I ever heard back when I was 11 years old. And at the time, I believe I had it on cassette. And later on, I got the CD as I got older. But I remember just wearing out that tape. I just played it so many times. I loved it. And it was my first introduction to Nirvana. And ever since then, I've been hooked on Nirvana. I've been a big Nirvana fan. So Unplugged in New York is one of my favorite grunge albums and probably my favorite Nirvana album ever. Next up is, it's not really an album, but still great, Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains. This is actually an EP. It's not really an album, and it's only got 7 tracks, but my God, I mean, the songs are so good. It could be an album, you know, if there were a few more tracks added to it. I really wish they would release an expanded version of this, but every song on here is fantastic. You know, Nutshell, of course, is my favorite Alice in Chains song, next to Down in a Hole. That's another one of my favorites, but yeah, I love this album, or EP rather. I love this from Alice in Chains. Great stuff. The next album, I don't know if you really consider it grunge. Some people do, some people don't, but Stone Temple Pilots, Core. I love Scott Weiland's voice. He's always had such a good voice. And it really is a shame what happened to him. You know, God rest his soul. But he was a great singer. And I also like their follow-up, which was Purple. It had some good songs on it, but I don't think anything ever really came close to Core. I think Core is their best album to date. And there'll never be another Scott Weiland. And yeah, my favorite, actually I can't really name a favorite track on here because they're all so good. But if I could pick one, it'd be hard, but I love Creep. I love Plush, of course, you know, Cracker Man. I think Cracker Man's a really underrated track. But yeah, the Stone Temple Pilots, Core, one of my favorites. Another favorite of mine, which is no surprise, is Pearl Jam's 10. One of the defining albums of the grunge era from the 90s. Not one bad song on here. I remember the first song I ever heard from Pearl Jam was actually, the first album I ever heard from Pearl Jam was Yield. And honestly, I wasn't really that much into it. There's a couple songs I liked, and then I heard Even Flow. I saw the video for it, and I just loved it. And then Jeremy, and then Alive, and then I had to buy the album. And yeah, I love this. This is my favorite Pearl Jam album. And if I could pick a favorite track on here, it'd be really hard, but I would say Garden. I've always loved that song, Garden. It's such a haunting song, and it really fits the tone of this album great. And it's probably my favorite Pearl Jam song ever, next to Immortality. That's another favorite Pearl Jam song of mine. And Indifference from Versus, which I'm going to get to. So speaking of which, there's Versus right there. Pearl Jam Versus, another one of my favorite grunge albums. I think this was a great follow-up to 10. It was more on the aggressive side, more punkish sounding compared to 10's, you know, haunting sound, you know. But there were a lot of good tracks on here. Indifference is probably my favorite one. So yeah, Versus, great album, and yeah. Next up is, well, no surprise again, Soundgarden's Super Unknown. I love this CD. Chris Cornell is one of my favorite vocalists altogether, especially from the grunge era. Probably, I think he is my. I gotta say, Cornell probably is my favorite vocalist out of the whole grunge bands. He just had such an amazing voice. He could hit them high notes like no one's business, and he can also go low. He can hit low too, hit the low notes. I mean, he was just so versatile in his voice. Such a great man and such a great artist and songwriter. And it's a shame what happened to him too. You know, it really is. Um, but yeah, so many good songs on here. So many classics. Spoon Man, Black Hole Sun. My favorite, Fell on Black Days. Great album. Last but not least, another Cornell. It's actually Chris Cornell and some guys from Pearl Jam, which before they were in a band called Mother Love Bone, but the Temple of the Dog. This was the only album they ever released, and I love this. I wore this album out. I've listened to it so many times, but there's so many great songs on here. Hunger Strike, of course, is probably the main track that sticks out amongst all the other songs, but it was the biggest hit off the album. There was a couple of other singles released on here, but none of them really quite, or the other two didn't quite match Hunger Strike's success. But yeah, Temple of the Dog, and it's a shame that they only released one album. You know, I know they were considered like a super group, whatever, but I would have loved to see a follow up to this, but it never happened, unfortunately. But maybe one day, because I know they released like a 25th anniversary edition of this a while ago, and it had some bonus tracks on it, which I haven't picked up yet, but I'm going to. I'd like to get the vinyl version, honestly. But yeah, so Temple of the Dog, another one of my favorite grunge albums. So there you have it. Those are my favorite albums from the grunge era. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Have a nice day, and take care. Bye.